No, so this gentleman really is like one of the young baby bees that we are seeing blossom into their full fucking selves, and they were like, "I want to come tonight," and I said, "Cool, bitch, I'm putting you on stage, so we're gonna do that." And they came to me as a baby poet, and now they've blossomed into a full rounded ass artist. And they're like, "Bitch, I got other shit and other shit," so they're gonna tell you more about it, and it's gonna be phenomenal. I want you to make some noise right now for Devin Johnson.
Wow, hi. Well, there's a lot of y'all in here. Oh, y'all look so cute and beautiful and happy. I just like seeing people smile. It's great. Stop. But yeah, I used to be like this little baby poet, and then when I started to write, and when I got on stage, and then I felt good being on stage talking, I was like, oh, I could do something with my voice. What? Let's do more with this, right? So about what brings me peace. Well, I got two things that bring me peace. I got the normal thing that brings me peace, and I got the thing that relates to what I'm about to talk about on stage that brings me peace. So I got the just laying with someone special. That brings me peace. Just laying in bed, chilling with a blunt. Just and you're good. And another thing that brings me peace is giving back to the youth, changing the future. And going back to my writing, one of the ways that I feel that impacted me was the books that I read and young adult fiction and all the things that we read, whether it was in middle school and things that shaped our kind of worldview, whether it was fantastical or nonfiction, things like that. That's what I want to get to, and that's more so where I'm trying to drive my writing. So I'm just gonna share like an excerpt from like this short like sci-fi Afrofuturistic thing I'm working on. So yeah. I gotta pull up on the Google Drive though. Come on, taking your sweet time. There we go. How y'all doing today though while this loads, right? Ooh, the BQE was shut down today? It was not cute at all. So this is I just call the chapters after the name of their, I just named the chapters after the name of the protagonist that's narrating it. So this is just Okayo. Lightning. All throughout the river valley, strikes find their marks on cliff sides and the occasional unfortunate bush. The sun is high in the sky, hidden from a view by a cascade of clouds from their canopy peach. Okayo watches a storm creep closer to the forest. The storm brings not rain but wrath and threatens the city's last line of defense. If a fire spreads again, Maltese won't recover for at least a generation. Trade routes, harvests, natural borders, the list of woodland boon drilled into Okayo's head before each and every outing starts its same old chorus. The land protects the people, and the people protect the land. They've had enough of their mother's mouth for the day, and the time outside the gates grants them some space. Sometimes that's all loved ones can give one another. Looking through the treetops, they search through the others for catchers on watch. It's flood season, so the branches have begun to bend and careen around their kin's bark. The leaves, being so bunched together, start to form their verdant foliage ceiling, and soon it will be hard to tell apart one sequoia tree from the next. Not until the older ones bloom their indigo petals, at least, during the season's peak. Still, the other catchers are nowhere to be found. They had to be far off. Up here, their amber and onyx hues would stand out against the emeralds. Lazy Yervas. Okayo screws their face back toward the stretch of green between his post and the north gate of town, aimed at no one in particular but everyone at the same time. They'll claim they just wanted to give him a wide berth, but it was just a way of getting off running less woods with the same payoff. Okayo honestly doesn't mind if they didn't get in trouble for lighting up their would-be skimmers each time. It was more so taking back what they owed in the process of the shakedown that brings a shame upon his family. Okayo can't see why. His mouth purses at the thought of his sister's voice. Now, you know there's no way to act, and that's not how you handle the situation. You of all people know better than to pick fights with the guard, especially when they're on duty. How many times do I have to tell you, Oki? Okayo deduced Adasa was about as tired of repeating herself as they were of being told what they should and shouldn't know. Just like they were tired of waiting. The clouds reached overhead and rolled past. A gray overture soon to be joined by the quake of clouds, a thunderous cacophony to signal the start of this song and dance of earth and sky. Oki was ready to play their part, but still, nothing. He tried a higher branch. The feat of leaping across the canopy was familiar by now. Finding an older and much taller tree, they hoisted themselves up to the last branch wide enough to support both feet. Anchored by their right arm to the thinning trunk, they scanned the sky for any activity. Come on, Oki thought. They literally only had seconds to react, and then it came. The scent of burning. Ozone. Their skin felt it before his nose did. Hair rising, arms moving before feet could even be planted in a proper stance. With outstretched fingers, Okayo closed their eyes and let the lightning fly. His head took the brunt of the blast, but the pain was brief, and soon the euphoric energy surged through his spine. Their favorite part. They know better than to hold it, but they took their time. 1, 5, 10 micro snaps. They almost let a full one go by before their skin starts flaring. The toll for their greed. Oki knew not to test the limits of their body nor the patience of their ancestors, so they finally clasped both hands and sent the strike back towards the sky. The tingling barely stopped before the next bolt prepared for a landing. Oki felt it coming about 10 trees over, easy. The leap took no effort. Oki was surrounded by the familiar sensation of crackling sparks as they flew through the air, wind whipping their weightlessness, tight coils alive with static, arms out towards the sky. The bolt reached him before he reached the ground. The landing was rough, and his ankles will remind him of his recklessness in the morning, but for the moment, he was able to redirect the blast. The game of leaps and lightning chase continued for hours. Storms this season tend to be a bit more stern and offer little time for breaks, but by now, the day has darkened and the gray sky has grown quiet. Though the clouds still loomed overhead, Oki thinks the storm has passed before a tearing noise breaks the silence. They knew the ancestors would send the parting gift. A grin overtakes their skybound gaze as they wait for their hair to rise. Follow the feeling. Another crash. It sounded closer. The strike was coming straight for them, but no. No burning smell or sensation came. A yellow light fills the sky, and then orange. It hangs behind the clouds and steadily grows. He's never seen a bolt shaped like this before, so big and slow. Oki has a moment of doubt before the prospect of such a challenge makes something glimmer in those hazel eyes. As they brace for the impact, when the bolt seems but a descending sun, it makes a part in the clouds, but the clearing revealed not a bolt, but some sort of ball? Or building? A house? On fire? Oki isn't really sure what it is, but whatever it is, it hit the forest hard. Even with it landed beyond their view, Oki can see the trees fall, birds fleeing from the blast. Without a moment's hesitation, they took to the branches, flashed towards the point of impact, covering 5 treetops in a single leap to rush forward in the spread and stop the spread of this calamity that just fell from the sky. Thank you, guys.
Shouts out to Devin.